This video is going to talk to you a little bit about the evidence portion in an essay. And so my first question is exactly that. What do you remember from Lit Lang 2 and Lit Lang 1? What is evidence in an essay? I hope you said that it is information from the text. It supports an argument. So it's not necessarily, it could be your experience, it could be your opinion, but usually we want you to go find another source out there who agrees with what you believe and put that into your essay as like proof, evidence. Boom, here it is. I'm not the only one who thinks that, right? So it's that information from a text. Evidence can be in the format of AW, which is just an easy way to remember author's words exactly. You can copy and paste it. Or you have taken that information and you paraphrased it into your own words. So that's really what evidence is when we talk about writing in this English class. Evidence consists of 3 different pieces. What are those 3 different pieces? I'm hoping that you said background, AW, and citation. So the background portion of the evidence is maybe a sentence, maybe it's just a phrase, but it's kind of introducing the character or introducing the story, or it's like background information about the protest or about the mental health in America, right? It's the background that leads up to the AW, and that is those author's words exactly, the actual quote. Quotation mark, copy paste, quotation mark. And the C stands for the citation. And the citation is what goes inside the parentheses. You'll hear me call that a parenthetical. Because inside that information is usually the author's last name and a page number where that can be found. Okay, so here is an example of a piece of evidence that maybe one of you guys wants to use. I'm not sure. Depends on what you're going to be writing about and what articles you're reading. So here's an example. Because people across the country were so upset about the death of George Floyd, they responded. In fact, rioters set fire to squad cars and threw bottles at officers. You'll see that a portion of the screen is kind of like a purple. What is that purple section? What part of the evidence is this? I'm hoping that you said that it's the background. This gives information about the death of George Floyd, that this was happening across the country, and that people are responding. Okay. You'll also notice that the words "in fact" are a part of that. That's like the kind of like a transition that leads into that the next part. You never want to just start a sentence with the quotation mark with the word rioters. You always need to like lead into it just a little bit. Next, you're going to see a section that is pink, right? Which part of the evidence is this pink section? My hope is that you said, this is the AW. This is the author's words exactly. You don't even really have to think about this part. This is like the copy paste. This is like the simplest thing. Now you see a section that is green. What do we call this section of the evidence? My hope is that you said, this is the citation. This is the parenthetical citation, okay? And you can tell that this came from an article that was written by the Associated Press, and you can find this quote on page 1. This becomes really important in an essay because if I want to go look up this information, I read it and I go, dang, I want to read more about that. I know where I can go find this information and what page to find it on, okay? So when you construct your evidence, I'm going to be looking for these 3 parts. I'm looking for that background, I'm looking for that citation, and I'm looking for that citation. I'm looking for the AW, and I'm looking for that citation. Okay, any questions at all about evidence? And I want you to reach out and let me know. I can help you in any way.